following is a paid message for a chip so iconic, we don't need to name it. No logos, no gimmicks, just those red bags with the stuff you love in it. Mate, you know the brand. It's the three-sided crunch. Trade your buddies for it if they packed a pack at lunch. No logo, but our name's on the tip of your tongue. Shake it for crumbs when the bag is done. Love that cheesy, spicy, crispy, crunchy flavored pack that rhymes with, I need those. But an ad with no logo, that's for the bold.
This is an emergency broadcast. The current threat level is advice, meaning that there is a potential hazard that requires residents and visitors to stay alert and stay informed. This broadcast is transmitted at the request of the Australian Institute of Marine Science under the orders of the Australian Government. Residents of Fitzroy Island and other very coastal areas in Cairns, please pay attention to this broadcast for important safety information. At 11:56 a.m. today, an unprovoked incident occurred at an AquaGen underwater research facility located within the Great Barrier Reef. The incident involved an unidentified, shark-like creature that resulted in the tragic deaths of 5 personnel working at the site. Emergency response teams were immediately dispatched to assess the situation and contain the threat, but the creature demonstrated aggressive behavior and attacked several marine patrols, fishermen, and Coast Guard personnel during the chaos. Sadly, some of these responders were also consumed by the creature, further complicating rescue efforts. During the incident, marine patrols, fishermen, and Coast Guard units are actively attempting to contain the creature and prevent it from reaching the shoreline. Authorities have issued warnings to avoid water-based activities in the vicinity and are deploying patrol boats, aircraft, and specialized units to track and manage the threat. However, the unknown shark-like creature continues to pose a significant danger, and there is a high risk of further attacks or sightings in the area. Residents and visitors are urged to remain vigilant, avoid the water, and follow official updates for safety instructions. The presence of this creature is expected to disrupt water-based activities near Fitzroy Island and surrounding beaches. In response, parts of the Maritime Border Command and the Australian Navy will be mobilised to assist with containment, evacuation, and safety measures. Authorities ask everyone to stay clear of the affected zone, listen for further updates, and heed all official advice to ensure safety during this ongoing emergency.
Here at Baker's Delight, we're passionate about making delicious fresh bread you'll be proud to put on your table.
So whether you're after something savoury or sweet, something to share with friends, or for the long lunch,
we've got barbecues,
dinner parties,
morning teas,
and afternoon cuppers covered.
Made from scratch every single day.
Our delicious range of entertainers means you'll always be ready
to put on a show.
This is an emergency update from the Australian Institute of Marine Science in conjunction with the Australian Government. We have received an urgent message from the Maritime Border Command and Australian Navy, stating that their vessels did not stand a chance against the unknown shark-like creature currently attacking near Fitzroy Island. Multiple naval and patrol ships have been destroyed or rendered inoperable. The situation is critical, and the threat is considered unprecedented in Australian maritime history. The unknown entity has now been officially designated Indoglodon. This mutated sea monster is a terrifying hybrid of a marine iguana, Megalodon, great white shark, Dunkleosteus, and features massive Godzilla-inspired dorsal fins. Indoglodon is highly aggressive and is equipped with the ability to emit a devastating electric beam that has already incinerated large portions of the fleet sent to intercept or contain it. The creature displays intelligence, erratic swimming patterns, and appears resistant to conventional weapons. It remains in active confrontation with military forces as of this broadcast. All citizens and tourists currently located on Fitzroy Island and along the coastal areas of Cairns, including Palm Cove, Holloways Beach, Yorkeys Knob, Trinity Beach, and Mission Bay, are advised to immediately evacuate inland. Do not approach the shoreline. Marine activities are strictly prohibited until further notice. Emergency services are coordinating with defence and aims to facilitate urgent evacuations and establish safe zones. If you are unable to evacuate, move to higher ground and remain indoors. Authorities stress that Indoglodon is still in the vicinity and poses an extreme threat to human life and marine infrastructure. This is not a natural phenomenon. The Australian government, in collaboration with international marine biologists and military units, is launching an emergency containment protocol. Further updates will follow via television, radio, and the official emergency alert app. Stay alert, stay safe, remain calm. This is another update from the Australian Government and the Australian Institute of Marine Science in conjunction with AquaGen and its parent company, InGen. The current threat level is emergency, meaning that extreme danger is present and immediate evacuation is required for all individuals within the affected zone. Earlier today, Indoglodon, the mutated sea monster responsible for destroying several naval vessels, unleashed full-scale mayhem on Fitzroy Island beach. The creature made landfall, causing catastrophic damage to critical resort infrastructure. The Fitzroy Island resort suffered massive structural collapse, and beachfront areas near Welcome Bay were consumed in flames and water surges following Indoglodon's electric beam discharge. The research pier was torn apart, and the Fitzroy Dive Centre has been completely submerged. Widespread panic ensued as tourists and staff fled inland, with many requiring emergency medical evacuation via helicopter. In a stunning turn of events, the genetically resurrected Megalodon, codenamed Project Leviathan, has emerged from the Coral Sea, brought back to life by InGen's marine genetics division AquaGen. This apex predator has engaged Indoglodon in what can only be described as a battle of titans. The Megalodon, dwarfing most marine creatures in history, was intended as a last resort biological deterrent against hostile enemies. It launched itself at Indoglodon near the reef crest, initiating a colossal underwater confrontation now unfolding just offshore from the Fitzroy Island jetty. Massive shockwaves from their clashes have already triggered tsunami-like surges along the island. Which beast will triumph remains unknown. Both are unmatched in size and power, but the outcome will determine the survival of not just the island, but the greater Cairns coastline. All citizens, tourists, and foreign nationals currently in or near Fitzroy Island, Palm Cove, Trinity Beach, Yorkeys Knob, and the broader Cairns coastline are ordered to evacuate inland immediately. Marine and beach activity must cease without exception. The Australian Defence Force has deployed aerial units and submarines to monitor the situation and assist with evacuation, while InGen's private security division has mobilised drone surveillance, sonic disruptors, and contingency teams armed with experimental technology to either neutralise Indoglodon or assist Leviathan. Emergency shelters are being set up in Cairns City, Gordon Vale, and Edmonton. Emergency alerts will continue via national broadcast and mobile notifications. As chaos reigns in the Coral Sea, there is increasing speculation among AIMS and InGen scientists that further reinforcements may be deployed. If Leviathan fails, InGen and AquaGen may activate dormant specimens from their secret marine biocontainment program, specifically, a genetically enhanced Mosasaurus and a pair of weaponized Plesiosaurs. These marine giants, once deemed too unstable for public exposure, might now be humanity's last line of defense against Indoglodon. This situation is evolving rapidly. Remain calm, follow all evacuation orders, stay away from beaches and coastal zones. Further bulletins to follow.
This is a critical emergency warning. The current threat level is emergency, meaning that a catastrophic and ongoing threat is endangering civilian lives and infrastructure, and immediate action is required to protect life. Indoglodon, the mutated sea monster responsible for recent attacks near Fitzroy Island, has now launched a full-scale assault on the Cairns region. The Megalodon, codenamed Project Leviathan and engineered by InGen's AquaGen division, is currently being overpowered by Indoglodon. Despite its size and ferocity, Leviathan has sustained multiple deep lacerations and appears disoriented after repeated electric beam attacks. The sea battle has pushed inland as Indoglodon moves toward the Cairns marina and esplanade. Cairns has begun to fall into chaos. The Cairns Esplanade Lagoon has been flooded by massive tidal surges, and several beachfront properties have collapsed. The Cairns Marina, Reef Fleet Terminal, and parts of the CBD are now submerged or in ruins. Fires have broken out across the Cairns Convention Centre, and major roads, including Sheridan Street and Mulgrave Road, are gridlocked with panicked evacuations. Initial reports confirm at least 213 people injured and 47 confirmed fatalities, with numbers expected to rise as emergency crews attempt rescues from destroyed high-rises and debris. The situation is rapidly deteriorating. In a desperate countermeasure, the Australian government, in coordination with InGen and AquaGen, has deployed a genetically enhanced Mosasaurus and 2 weaponized Plesiosaurs to support Project Leviathan and engage Indoglodon directly. These apex marine predators were previously held in deep-sea biocontainment for controlled deployment, but the current threat has triggered full authorization. Citizens in Cairns North, Edge Hill, Parramatta Park, Portsmouth, Holloways Beach, and Trinity Park must evacuate immediately. Do not attempt to return for belongings or shelter in private residences. The Warrie State School, Cairns Convention Centre lower levels, and Red Lynch State College have been converted into emergency evacuation centres with food, water, and medical aid. This is an unprecedented event in Australian history. The battle between genetically engineered titans continues to threaten thousands of lives and the entire far north Queensland region. Stay away from all coastal areas. Avoid rivers and creeks that may be connected to the sea. If you are hearing this and are still in the affected zone, do not hesitate, evacuate immediately. Remain tuned to emergency broadcasts and government alerts via mobile or radio. We are doing everything we can to contain this living catastrophe. Stay alert. Stay safe. Help is being deployed, but the fight for Cairns is far from over.
It's the ABC Far North, and you're listening to a special report on the catastrophic events that unfolded today across Fitzroy Island and Cairns. It is now 6 p.m., and we are beginning to understand the true scale of devastation left in the wake of the monstrous Indoglodon and the biological titans unleashed to stop it. The battle, which lasted for several harrowing hours, has left much of the Cairns shoreline in ruins, and the full extent of casualties is still being calculated. We go now live to our ABC Far North correspondent Jackie Ollie, who's been covering the crisis from the emergency perimeter near Gordonvale. Jackie, what can you tell us about the scene on the ground?
Carolyn, the scene here is one of heartbreak, exhaustion, and disbelief. Just hours ago, Indoglodon breached the inner harbour after devastating Fitzroy Island, levelling the Cairns Marina and causing widespread flooding across the esplanade and surrounding suburbs. Though the Megalodon, known as Project Leviathan, fought valiantly, it was nearly overwhelmed until AquaGen deployed 2 weaponized Plesiosaurs and a genetically enhanced Mosasaurus to finally turn the tide. After a brutal clash just offshore, Indoglodon appears to have been defeated and eaten by the Mosasaurus and got dragged in the depths of the Coral Sea. The Australian Defence Force, in cooperation with InGen Security Division, is now conducting search and rescue operations amid the wreckage. Emergency responders are setting up additional triage zones, while engineers assess structural stability across the city. Casualty reports have risen to 63 confirmed dead, hundreds injured, and dozens still missing. Power outages persist in multiple zones, and the Cairns hospital is operating beyond capacity.
Absolutely devastating. And what have been the official responses from the organizations behind these engineered creatures? InGen, AquaGen, and parent company Masrani Global Corporation?
A short time ago, InGen issued a formal statement saying, the deployment of Leviathan, Mosasaurus, and Plesiosaurs was a necessary action taken in extreme emergency to preserve human life. AquaGen scientists remain on site, conducting marine scans for any signs of Indoglodon's return. Meanwhile, Masrani Global Corporation's Chief Operating Officer, Richard Wiesner, spoke from company headquarters in Singapore, calling the incident a tragic and humbling moment for science, nature, and corporate responsibility. Wiesner added that an independent commission will be established to investigate both the origins of Indoglodon and the conduct of the crisis response. Critics, however, are already raising questions about containment failures, long-term consequences of genetic marine experimentation, and the ethics of Project Leviathan itself.
A situation still unfolding with accountability hanging in the balance. Thank you, Jackie Ollie, reporting live from Gordonville. As Cairns begins to assess the damage, recover its wounded, and mourn its dead, one question lingers across the far north. What happens if Indoglodon returns? This has been a special report from ABC Far North. Stay tuned for continuing coverage and safety updates. I'm Caroline Mercer. Stay safe and stay informed.